Islam. Today is July the 29th, 2018. Islam. I'm Rhonda Arrington-Bey. I'm going to start off by reading my Oath of Amnesty and Reconstruction that I did with Moorish National Bureau of Vital Statistics, Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine and National Movement of North America, Temple number 13, the Moorish American National Republic, National Headquarters, Islam. So start off by reading this first. Islam. Let's see. I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, do solemnly affirm in the presence of Almighty God Allah that I must henceforth, hold on, trying to get myself together. Okay, good day, but just trying to get myself together. Allah. And this communication is to Dwayne Bey. Islam. Dwayne, how you doing? It's good if you're doing well. I know you are. You should. Well, I don't know, but I hope you are. And anyway, today was a good day. It's Sunday, so it was a very productive day. So now I'm going to read. I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, do solemnly affirm in the presence of Almighty God, Allah, that I must henceforth faithfully support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Union of the States thereunder, that I must in like manner abide by and faithfully support all acts of Congress passed during the existing rebellion with reference to slaves, so long and so far as not repealed, modified, or held void by decision of the Supreme Court, and that I must in like manner abide by and faithfully support all proclamations of the President made during the existing rebellion, having reference to persons held as slaves, so long and so far as not modified or declared void by decisions of the Supreme Court. So help me Allah. And the witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Moorish American National Republic government to be affixed, executed at the city of Baltimore in the state of Maryland on this 11th day of October in the year of 2014. Islam. Now I'm about to read the Bill of Rights, the 10th Amendment. The Bill of Rights, ratified December 15th, 1791. Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assembly and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Amendment 2. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Amendment 3. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Amendment 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizure shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particular describing the place to be searched, and the persons or things to be seized. Amendment 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces, or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a life witnesses against himself, nor be deprived of liberty or property without due process of law, nor shall private be taken for public use without just compensation. Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecution, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Amendment 7. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. Amendment 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. Amendment 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Amendment 10. The powers not the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the state, are reserved to the states, respectively, or to the people. Islam. Now I'm going to read my nationality identification card. This is your nationality identification card for the Moorish Science Temple, the Divine and National Movement of North America Incorporated 13, Moorish American National Public and Birthrights for Moorish Americans, etc. We honor all the divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. May the blessings of God, our Father Allah, be upon you that carry this card. I do hereby declare that you are a Muslim under the divine laws of the Holy Quran of Mecca. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I am a citizen of the United States. Noble Drew Ali, Prophet. Our authorities, Chicago, Illinois, Cook County, copybook 521, page 571. MNBVS, Moorish National Bureau of Vital Statistics. That's what that stands for. P.O. Box 23408, SS number 1010-5905, Baltimore, Maryland 21203, form number 1099, Islam. Okay, 9 minutes. Okay. Now I'm about to read the Proclamation of Amnesty and Reconstruction, December the 8th, 1863, that Abraham Lincoln passed. Whereas in and by the Constitution of the United States, it is provided that the President shall have power to grant reprieves and pardon for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment, and whereas a rebellion now exists whereby the loyal state governments of several states have for a long time been subverted, and many persons have committed and are now guilty of treason against the United States, and whereas with reference to said rebellion and treason, laws have been enacted by Congress, declaring forfeitures and confiscation of property and liberation of slaves, all upon terms and conditions therein stated, and also declaring that the President was thereby authorized at any time thereafter, by proclamation, to extend to persons who may have participated in the existing rebellion, in any state or part thereof, pardon and amnesty, with such exceptions and at such times and on such conditions as he may deem expedient for the public welfare. And whereas the Congressional Declaration for Limit and Conditional Pardon accords with well-established judicial exposition of the pardoning power, and whereas with reference to said rebellion, the President of the United States have issued several proclamations with provisions in regard to the liberation of slaves, and whereas it is now desired by some persons heretofore engaged in said rebellion to resume their allegiance to the United States and to re-inaugurate loyal state governments within and for their respective states thereof. The Proclamation of Amnesty and Reconstruction, Part 2. I, Abraham Lincoln, President of the United States, do proclaim, declare, and make known all persons who have directly or by implication participated in the existing rebellion, except as hereinafter accepted, that a full pardon is hereby granted to them, and each of them with restoration of all rights and property, except as to slaves, and in property cases where rights of third parties shall have intervened, and upon the condition that every such person shall take and subscribe an oath, and thenceforth keep and maintain said oath inviolate, and which oath shall be registered for permanent preservation, and shall be on the tenor and effect following to writ. And then it says, this is the proclamation that Abraham Lincoln created in order for those who are out of the constitutional fold to get back into the constitutional fold. And this is their form of naturalization. I, and it says blank blank, do solemnly swear in presence of Almighty God that I will henceforth faithfully support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the union of the states thereunder, and that I will, in like manner, abide by and faithfully support all acts of Congress passed during the existing rebellion with reference to slaves, so long and so far as not repealed, modified, or held void by Congress. And it says oath. As Moorish Americans, we affirm. We don't take oaths. We affirm. So this is definitely for those who are needs to take an oath. Okay? Or by the decision of the Supreme Court, and that I will in like manner abide by and faithfully support all proclamations of the President made during the existing rebellion, having reference to slaves, so long and so far as not modified or declared void by decision of the Supreme Court. So help me God. The persons accepted from the benefits of the foregoing provisions are all who are or shall have been civil or diplomatic officers or agents of the so-called Confederate government, all who have left judicial stations under the United States to aid the rebellion, all who are or shall have been military or naval officers of said so-called Confederate government above the rank of colonel in the Army or of lieutenant in the Navy, all who left seats in the United States Congress to aid the rebellion, all who resigned commissions in the Army or Navy of the United States and afterwards aided the rebellion, and all who have engaged in any way in treating colored persons or while persons in charge of such, otherwise than lawfully as prisoners of war, and which persons may have been found in the United States services as soldiers, seamen, or in other capacity. Imani, what time is it? 7:24. Okay. And I do further proclaim, declare, and make known that any provisions which may be adopted by such state government in relation to the free people of such state, which shall recognize and declare their permanent freedom, provide for their education, and which may yet be consistent as a temporary arrangement with their present condition as a laboring, landless, and homeless class, would not be objected to by the national executive. And it is suggested as not improper that in constructing a loyal state government in any state, the name of the state, the boundary, the subdivision, the constitution, and the general code of laws, as before the rebellion, be maintained, subject only to the modifications made necessary by the conditions herein before stated, and such others, if any, not contravening said conditions, and which may be deemed expedient by those framing the new state government. To avoid misunderstanding, it may be proper to say that this proclamation, so far as it relates to state governments, has no reference to states wherein loyal state governments have all the while been maintained. And for the same reason, it may be proper to further say that whether members sent to Congress from any state shall be admitted to seats constitutionally rests exclusively with the respective houses, and not to any extent with the executive. And still further, that this proclamation is intended to present the people of the states wherein the national authority has been suspended and loyal state governments have been subverted, a mode in and by which the national authority and loyal state governments may be reestablished within said states or in any of them. And while the mode presented is the best the executive can suggest with his present impressions, it must not be understood that no other possible mode would be acceptable. Given under my hand at the city of Washington, the 8th day of December, A.D. 1863, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 88th. I want to reread one more part. Reread a part. It says, the persons accepted from the benefits of the foregoing provisions, because what President Abraham Lincoln did was gave those who are out of the constitutional fold that had been affected by the rebellion. So he said the persons accepted from the benefits of the foregoing provisions to get back into the constitutional fold, to be naturalized and not navigate or be treated with privileges, but with rights, but have rights. Okay? So he says, accepted from the benefits of the foregoing provisions are all who are or shall have been, these persons accepted, have been civil or diplomatic officers or agents of the so-called Confederate government. All who have left judicial stations under the United States to aid the rebellion. All who are or shall have been military or naval officers of said so-called Confederate government above the rank of colonel in the Army or of lieutenant in the Navy. All who left seats in the United States Congress to aid the rebellion. All who resigned commissions in the Army or Navy of the United States and afterwards aided the rebellion. And all who have engaged in any way in treating colored persons or while persons in charge of such, otherwise than lawfully as prisoners of war, and which persons may have been found in the United States services as soldiers, seamen, or in other capacities. So it said those that I just read are not allowed to be naturalized or take this oath. Islam. Once again, it's July the 29th, 2018. It's Sunday. And that's my read for today. Islam.